we want those toes in flexion, okay? Because otherwise, very often, you see another reflex where those toes curl into the floor. A lot of you, some of you have worked with clients where they're constantly straightening out those toes. What is that reflex called? The toe curl, you know. Pardon me?
Babinski?
No, the Babinski, your toes go out. This is when the toes curl in. Just like you have the grasp reflex, you got the toe curl reflex. Okay? You have the extensor thrust. Again, all of that causes your foot to go into plantar flexion and extension. Okay? You want to be able to have that dorsiflexion. You want those toes relaxed. You want those toes up. So what I would do is, you could use, in the morning you use, sorry.
That sounds right.
You could use your ace wrap or something that is rolled up and place it right there so that you can get that, you know, we need a little more elevation there, but to get those toes up so the toes are not curling into the floor. So the more you work with them in standing with your foot in this position, you're going to be able to teach them that they can stand without curling those toes into the floor.
So in like acute care, could you use like a towel for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, whatever you want to use. Yeah.
Okay.
A roll towel, ace wrap, you can go to one of those cabinets that pull out an ace wrap and use it, you know. Yeah, okay. So something else that you probably need to do is get those toe separators. I normally use, you know, what they use for pedicure. I trim them because otherwise they spread your toes up. What's it?
Because I was wondering if you could use that.
Yeah, but you got to trim them. But then,
I don't use them.
but I think. Oh. So, but you can also get them from. There are some toe separators that you can actually get them from orthotists. Okay, which will be, you know, the ones that you get used for a pedicure, they kind of flare your toes out way too much. You've got to trim them a lot. There's a lot of work, and it could be uncomfortable for you within your shoes. But this takes me to a point where, what's it? Did someone say something? This takes me to a point where very often we have our clients in shoes and we don't bother to see what's going on in their foot when they're standing. Take off their shoes, see if there's active movement in those toes and those feet, because very often they're using the good leg and there's nothing going on in this leg, or if something's going on, it's that toe curl and that extensor tone that you don't want. Okay? So once you've got this, you're going to work on standing, right? So you're going to come help me with standing. Again, you're going to be doing the pelvis, you know, to get that lumbar extension and spinal extension. So remember, I had spoken to you about 2 ways of doing this. One is when you go with the client in front. The other way, you could go sideways, okay? With a very low-level client, going in the front gives them the security that there's someone there, but also it helps with getting that anterior pelvic tilt, be able to bring that client, you mechanically are at a better position if you go forward with a low-level client, because they don't have that trunk control, and you're going to facilitate that trunk control, okay? So what I would do is go right there. I'm going to put my chin on her shoulder. For the time, Courtney is just going to kind of go with me. But the minute we start standing up, that's when she's going to bring her pelvis into place, the lumbar area, and she's going to help out there. So then I don't have to work so hard, right? So whoever you're co-treating with, or you can stand up and just take your knees into her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can get your knees in, right?
So in standing, is she facilitating an interior pelvic tilt, or?
Right here it's neutral.
Okay, and so she's just pushing on
She's
the lumbar area?
the lumbar area for that extension, for
Okay.
that curve.
Okay, okay.
Right, so you got your knees. Yeah, okay. So,
Did you then have to go change the shoe?
so you want the knees in the lumbar area. So if you feel like you're not getting that lumbar area, you can use a ball. You can, you know, you've got to adjust. You may need to go more into, give me a moment. Let me just go there and let me see what, okay. So I want more like this. So see what I'm doing here? I've gone on my toes to get more of that, okay? So that is going forward, right? So what are we doing? Let me get on to that next page.
Lumbar.
Okay, so that's, I'm showing you where I've got that picture for the foot placement. We'll come back to this, because I've already gone to the next slide. Okay, so, if you'll sit down for a minute, okay? So, what are we doing? We're getting hold of the abs, which my little pinkies are getting a hold of the abs. My other fingers are back in the lumbar area. What muscle am I facilitating there?
Quadratus lumbar.
And I'm getting that anterior tilt, okay? You're going forward, okay? What am I doing here? With the anterior tilt, once we've got the anterior tilt, okay, what more do I need? The center of mass has to translate from between your ischials to between your feet. Okay, so when the center of mass comes right there in alignment with the center of pressure on the floor, that's when the client is going to feel that, get that input in terms of coming up into extension. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take them to that point where she's going to get a feel for that this again. You see, she just automatically stood up. I didn't even have to facilitate it, but you'll see this even with the patient. Now, those patients where they don't have that extension, then you're going to facilitate. So don't over-facilitate. Get them to that point and see if they're going to respond. If they don't respond, you facilitate. But it's all a matter of timing, okay? So you've got to be all there in the moment, get them forward, get that center of mass forward, over the base. You're either going to feel it or you're not going to feel it. If you feel them extending, you don't have to do much. You just have to make sure there's that spinal extension and they're going up. Because as they're going up, like extending in the lumbar area, the thoracic area needs to extend and come up. You know, so pay attention and figure out what is happening. If it's happening right, if it's happening right, you don't have to do anything. If there's some missing component, you jump in there and take care of it.